Hi everybody, and a warm welcome back to Maple Leaf Customs in Switzerland. I'm Andrew, and on the bench today is an organizer drawer filled with all of my Corvettes. I'm a fan, as you can see. There's probably about 50 of them in here. I need to pick out the right one to match a recognizable movie car. Got all makes and models from C1s to the latest C8R, Hot Wheels, Matchbox, Corgis, Majorettes, Wellies, even different scale size. Look at this beautiful 63 split rear window vet. A couple of mirrors broke off, taped to the hood for a future restoration project. I need to find a mid-70s Stingray. It doesn't have to be exact because it's going to need some heavy modifications no matter which one I pick, so I'm just going to try to get a handful here for a little closer look on which one would fit the bill. That's enough. And I'll just dump them out here and line them up and have a little better sniff at each of these. They're fairly similar. That would do. Some big side pipes on this. That would do even better. And I think this is the one I'm going to go with. It's a 1:61 scale Matchbox Corvette Stingray, produced from 1979 to 2001. It's a third generation C3, one of my favorites, and it's a loose casting. I don't remember where it came from, though I did once get an eBay haul of all Corvettes a few years ago. It's been waiting its turn on the bench, I know that. This will do just fine. Here's the movie poster, Corvette Summer, from 1978, and here's the car I'm trying to recreate. I actually think it's kind of tacky looking and way overly exaggerated, but hey, it was the 70s, and this is my hobby and what I do. It's a 25-cent car, so there's nothing to it, but to do it, let's have some fun. This is the next in line in my summer road trip series, this time with Jody Sims, or Jody Zero, as he's known on his Instagram site. Jody suggested doing an homage to the Corvette Summer film car, which is a 1973 Stingray. And I've been wanting to do this car for a while now, but I was intimidated by the idea because of all of the design jazz on it. But nothing ventured, nothing gained, so get yourself a fresh hot cup of coffee and settle in for the next 10 minutes or so and see what I do. Corvette Summer is a 1978 American adventure comedy film directed by Matthew Robbins. It was Mark Hamill's first screen appearance after the unexpected success of Star Wars the previous year. Hamill stars as a California teenager who customizes his dream car, it gets stolen, and he heads off to Las Vegas to track it down. It's a right-hand drive Stingray, which he had saved from a scrapyard. Co-star Annie Potts plays the quirky young lady that he meets along the way, and she was nominated for a Golden Globe Award in this her first film role. You might recognize her from Ghostbusters, which came out in 1984. All in all, it was a pretty good romp for a B-movie from that time, but the real star of the show was the car itself. It looks like I've got some good bones to work with here with the Matchbox C3. Coming up on Maple Leaf Customs is my whole summer road trip series, the remaining cars after this second one that I'm doing right now. These are thumbnails in the order that they'll come in, also some Four Horsemen monthly invitationals, which you're invited to participate in as well, and I hope that you will. I'll be on the road soon, and I'm wishing you a fine summer ahead as well. Can promise you a regular Saturday upload, even while I'm away. so get all subbed up and catch every one of them. The tail end of the C3 is where the body mods begin, and I start by cutting off the die-cast with a jeweler's saw, and I 3D printed the movie version, which has this gigantic Chevy bow tie on it. I measured it to width, but it always takes a little bit of putty and a whole lot of sanding and finessing to get these just right, so I roll out a little sausage, just like we did when we had the Play-Doh as kids, and smush it into the lines. I'll let that set up before I hit it with some sanding. The front end has a very distinctive hood. I taped off about a ½ inch that I took off with my table grinder. Goggles are being worn. Here's the 3D version of the nose of the C3. A little bit of super glue is just tack welding. The putty and some JB weld on the underside are going to hold it together. Dozens of dry fits all along the way. Maybe the most distinctive part of Mark Hamill's car is this hood scoop. Thankfully, all the 3D files are online. I could have printed the whole car, but I thought I'd have more fun affixing these to the actual Matchbox C3 die-cast body. More putty, more fitting, more sanding. In this process, I primed it and painted it a couple of times until I ended up with the color that I wanted. Each paint attempt was another exposure of a couple of seams that needed to be camouflaged with some more putty. So this was a long process, but I had an absolutely great time at each and every step along the way. Today's community shout-out goes to my buddy on this buddy build, and that's Jody Sims. I've left a link in the description for his YouTube channel, and you can swing by there and see all the fun stuff that he's doing. I really like Jody's personality and energy, and you will too. Mark Hamill had a pretty cool set of custom BF Goodrich tires on his Stingray, so I printed up more than I could ever possibly use, chromed them and painted them and put them aside to dry. Here's paint job 2.0. I did it in a candy apple red, but it not as red as I wanted. Showed up a few more flaws, so I puttied it up and sanded it up again. And now I've got to do a right-hand drive conversion. Did you ever notice that in the movie? Let's see if Jody catches that when he does his Stingray. So I drill a new hole on the wrong side of the car and pop a new steering wheel in there. And here's the big side pipes from the original car. Remember those? Off they came, and I filed that down and did another dry fit. This is the final version of red that I ended up with, by the way. And the pipes are 3D printed too, scaled to size for my Matchbox. There's not a lot of detail on the bottom of the chassis, but I descale it and do a flitz job on it here. It's a 5 or 6 minute time investment. It sparkles in the lights. Isn't that nice? My wife always smiles when we go shopping because I end up in the beauty aisle. And I always get these nail buffing pads that have 6 or 7 different steps on them. I use them exclusively on my windshields. And when I run out of steps, I go to my super fine sanding pads. Mine go right up to 12,000. So you know you're getting rid of all of the scratches in there. Finish it off with a plastic scratch polish. Buff it out. And it gets a dip in the Pledge Revive It. We're all done. Tickety-boo. Now, the most challenging part for me was this flame job on the movie car. I don't like it. I think it's tacky, and I couldn't reproduce it. I couldn't find them online, so I freelanced here and went with a set of flames that I elongated, like so. I did my 2-step decal process with the white toner on the red body, so that the color flames will show up on top of that, and I like how it came out. In fact, I prefer it to the original, so I granted myself a little artistic license. Here's my poor man's version of a sunroof, which is a kinder and gentler way to do it than hacking away with the jeweler's saw. Back to the original Matchbox wheels. I think they're called laser wheels, and I did print a set, but I ended up not liking them so much. I do prefer these real rubber Samet wheels in the same size. They're 12 millimeters. I really encourage you to go by www.sametwheels.com. I'm sure they're going to have exactly what you need for your next custom job, and if you use the promo code Maple Leaf when you check out, they'll throw in some freebies for you too. Thanks for doing that. Part of Mark Hamill's tacky package was some bright yellow highlights on these hood scoop openings, whatever they are called, so I followed suit to make up for deep sixing his flame job. Reassembly time. So the new right-hand drive cockpit goes on top of the refurbished chassis. Spiffed up glass sits on top of there. There's only one way it can go. And all the work I did on that body clicks back into place nicely on top of the Samet wheels. One screw goes in the original post at the back. When I grinded off the nose, I took away the post as well, so the front end of this is epoxy glued together. There's the exhaust pipes. They went on at the very end. Now you can see all of the work that went into the 3D parts being spliced onto the Matchbox body. The tail end is a decal reproduction from one of the many movie still pics that are available on Google Images. There was a lot of research material that helped me out. I'm pleased overall with how it came out because of the intricate design challenges that were involved in this one. I almost gave up a couple times, but I've never left a project unfinished yet, including this one. That went from worn out to tacky. Well, it's the best I could do. MGM Studios and Mark Hamill, I hope you would be pleased with this. It's got its cool features, I'll give you that. Not the way I would trick out a C3, but hey, that's what the movie did, so that was my challenge. Leave a respectful comment below and tell me what you think of the Corvette Summer conversion. I'm putting this in a brand new style display case, new for me and for my customs, with a numbered and signed base, including a COA and a graffiti background. Jody, it's coming your way from Switzerland to Louisiana. Thanks for being my buddy on this leg of my summer road trip. Everybody be sure to follow the link in the description and check out Jody Sims' YouTube channel to see what he did with Mark Hamill's ride. I thank you for visiting today, and I wish you a summer full of road trips yourself. Drive carefully. It's coffee time.